Jessica, lovely to have you on the show. Welcome. And you run the Supermum Society. Tell us all about that.
So Supermum Society launched in July 2018 and we're resources for a better, easier, happier motherhood designed exclusively for mums who don't want to wing it. I hate the term winging it, particularly in motherhood, like passionately hate the term winging it, because I've yet to meet a single mum that is actually winging it. I think if your child's been fed in the last 24 hours and you've managed to put clothes on, even if they are pajamas, you haven't won anything, because actually it's a lot of effort just to achieve the basics once you become a mum. So I really wanted to put that like positive message out there, and I do a lot of sort of self-development with mums, ranging from time management, decluttering, organisation, health, fitness, the whole sort of kit and caboodle for the general structure of life. So I don't do anything that's parenting specific, parenting style specific, because every parent is different, every child is different. It's more the general basis of you and the general structure of life, those kind of things.
Brilliant. So putting the mum first.
Yes, I'm a big advocate for you can't serve from an empty cup. The whole thing about oxygen mask, you put yours on first, otherwise you're no use to anyone. So we do, at the moment I'm running actually a series on the blog, and every month I feature a different mum and her self-care habit. So we call them self-care habits of supermums, and every mum to me is a supermum, and just sharing their different little things. And some of them is sort of, I give myself 10 minutes a day to sit down with a hot drink that I just have as quiet time. And some people, it might be an hour and a half at the gym every day. Like it's the range of what is self-care for you, I find really amazing, really fascinating. But it's definitely something we need. Otherwise, yeah, we're no use to anyone.
Absolutely right. And I'm presuming you're a mother, are you?
I am. I've got a little girl who's 2 at the end of April, and then in a past life I was a stepmom. I had 2 out of 3 of my partner's kids, although one was pretty grown up, so I know she didn't like being called a kid. But I had a 11 and 13-year-old at home full time for about 4 or 5 years. So I've done that end of things. I know it's different when you're a stepmom. It has its different challenges and things, but yeah, done the sort of teenage years and the baby and early toddler stage, so just the middle chunk to go.
Okay, what do you describe the middle chunk?
So age 2 to age 11. I haven't parented those kind of kids myself. Right. That age.
That's the most rewarding time, I'm told.
I've loved every stage so far. Don't get me wrong, it's been really, really hard, but I'm a big advocate for motherhood is hard, motherhood is not bad. And so there've been challenges and stressful times, and we have a thing in our house that we don't let the kids see us sweat. So it's very much that she'll see we work hard, those kind of things, but we don't get sort of stressed, agitated in front of her. If we're feeling that, we step out of the room for the moment. A couple of times I've just had to say to my partner, luckily it's always fallen on a weekend, you need to take her. I have hit a wall, and I just need to, and I've gone for a drive, I've gone and got the car cleaned, I've done something really random, but I've been like, just need to step away and have a little breather. And he sometimes has to do the same thing. He likes his sort of Saturday morning gym session and things, so to reset. But we've got a good teamwork going on between the 3 of us now. The kid seems to be on board with this system.
Brilliant. And that's important to recognise what everybody in the relationship needs, isn't it? It's not just about the mum. You know, the child has different requirements. Every child's different, every mum's different, every dad's different. So well done to you for creating that. So how did you come upon the idea then of the Supermum Society? What brought it about?
So I was working as a personal trainer before having my daughter. I had my own studio near Waterloo in central London, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the working with the clients. I was doing a lot of what I would say lifestyle coaching in there as well. So talking about their sort of habits and productivity and things, partly to be able to fit in that exercise, but also to make the general changes. Things like your stress and your food have a massive impact on your health. So I did a lot of work with them on those kind of things. And prior to that, I'd been in hospitality and wedding and events. I'd had my own guest houses down in Cornwall. I'd had a 4-star B&B, and then I'd gone bigger and not bothered with star recognition and done this sort of beautiful, eclectic, vintage, shabby chic venue, and I absolutely loved it. And I sort of sat down when I became a mum, knowing that how I'd been working wouldn't work with how I wanted to be a mum. It didn't work with the time I wanted to be able to spend with her and the things I wanted to be able to do with her. I'd only ever wanted to be a mum. Since I was 15, I wanted to be a mum, which is really ironic because at nearly 17 and at 19, I got told I wasn't going to have kids. I got given 2 different medical reasons it wasn't meant to happen. She's my miracle baby. So I had a very set picture of how I wanted to be as a mum, and I'm like, oh, this doesn't fit with my work. And I worked it backwards. I went right to the end, and not the coffin end, but the end of my vision for my business and what did I want to be doing. And I was like, I want to be speaking. I love public speaking. I wanted to be creating content. I'm quite a creative person, so I love creating my Instagram feed and videos and blogs, and so writing creative and visual creative. I wanted to be doing all of that, and I wanted to be helping people. And so I had this vision of what I was going to do, but not a why or who I was going to do it for. And then in the first few months of being a mum, I kept hitting all these walls, negative image of motherhood in social media, really suddenly this narrow-minded opinion of what mums should be. I mean, even now, it's 2019, we should not have a narrow opinion of what a mum is capable of. That people saying, oh, well, you don't wash for a week and you live off a coffee IV and you've got to be this and that, and if you don't need a gin by 10 a.m, are you even a mum? And I was just like, no, this is not me. This is not how I want to do motherhood. And I started speaking out about this, and then I found more people felt the same way, but they were like, but there isn't another way, is there? I'm like, there is another way, and there are people doing it the other way, and come on, let's get together and do it this other way. And so my why, my reason came about from there. And within the first few months, I had people coming to me with questions that I had the answers to, people having issues that I had the skills for, be it through my previous careers or stuff that is kind of more natural to me than maybe the next person. And people were asking me for advice, and it sort of snowballed into, I want to serve. This is the way I want to serve people, through running events and speaking. We're going to be doing an online membership next year as well, so that we can reach a wider audience, people that can't necessarily get to my location. And now I've got this sort of strong, very passionate purpose of getting mums to realise that they are all super. None of us are winging it. I hate the phrase winging it. None of us are winging it. We're all working really hard, and we need to stop downplaying the effort we put into life, because it just makes you not want to bother if you don't feel like you've put any effort in when you know you have. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and there is so much nonsense going on in the world generally. We intuitively know what's right and what's wrong, but then our heads get in the way. We start putting logic to things, and things that don't make sense we try and make sense of, and then we end up in the worst mess than we started with, rather than just kind of going with it, which some people call winging it. But it's a phrase, you know, whether you like it or you don't, it's a phrase that's recognisable, and obviously you've kind of built it into your tagline, as you call it, for your business. So actually, go with it. I think it's a fantastic idea, and really well done. And the fact that you've got your own experiences to draw from, that is really excellent. And you're really walking your talk, which is so important these days. So many people don't do that. They say one thing but actually do another. So good for you.
I see that a lot online, and I'm going to hark back to the winging it phrase with some big mum brands online that are using that tag. I've seen companies, they're bringing out t-shirts with winging it on, and I'm looking at them thinking, you've got 3 kids and you're running this amazing online brand. There is no way you are winging it if you are doing all that, and yet you're saying, look, I've got this amazing life and I'm just winging it. And then poor mum at home that is like, well, I'm winging it and my life doesn't look like that. It's just not real. Like giving this like fake imagery. I think it's a really damaging phrase to say when actually you're not. And there is a lot of responsibility on these brands, and which quite often are mainly stemmed from one person. A lot of them are personal brands, to really go, what is it that I'm actually saying when I'm saying these phrases like winging it? Like, are you even a mum if you don't do X, Y, and Z? Like, I see that catchphrase on sort of Instagram memes a lot at the moment. Are you even a mum if you don't survive off coffee? Are you even a mum if you don't use dry shampoo every day? And it's like, yes. I don't need to apply to any of these stereotypes. Thanks.
I don't go on Instagram. My lovely PA deals with that side of me for the radio show. So I don't see these things. So I'm shocked at you saying that. I didn't realise that there were people saying, such nonsense. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's absolutely crazy. I did a workshop last year, and I went on to Google to find I wanted some funny mum memes to put on there for a section that was in the workshop. The section actually got scrapped and swapped, because what I realised, I just scrolled through 4 pages of funny mum related quote type pictures to find one that didn't have a negative undertone.
Really? That's ridiculous.
Negative undertone, 4 pages. So in the end, that section of the workshop was about that instead of about putting in some funny pictures, which is what I wanted to do initially in that bit. Yeah. But it's these little messages that kind of get into our heads, and people can be quite skeptical about social media in general, and they're like, it's brainwashing us and rah, rah, rah. And in so many ways it is, but it's a tool. We are the people using the tool, so we need to be clever with how we use it. And if you can start spotting the negative undertones, appreciate the funny, but be like, but I'm not going to let that affect my life, because I am seeing and talking to more and more mums where they're like, I didn't realise all the negativity, the little negative undertones in things I was seeing was having such an impact, and now I do. And it makes such a change in people just by realising sort of what impact it's been having on them.
That's really good that you've picked that up, and you're helping other people to realise it as well, because I constantly get people saying, oh, you're always on Facebook or whatever, and how do you manage, how do you keep up with everything? Well, I don't really, and there's lots of things that I miss, but I do the best I can. I control it doesn't control me. And I think that's a really important message. And when you're reading these things and you're being sort of lured into them, and that happens to people who are vulnerable and who aren't grounded. And it sounds as though you've got a really good method to help your members to feel grounded and get the balance in their life, because it's all about balance. It doesn't matter what your balance is, you need to find the right balance for you, don't you?
Definitely. I think your management of how you deal with social media is, if not already here, but going to be at the same point as we need to manage our food for our health. It's social media is not going to go away. It's very rare you meet someone that is doing nothing on it. I am my partner's only friend on Facebook. We are the two extremes in our house. I'm all over social media, and he has one friend on Facebook, which is me. He has no profile picture. He doesn't do anything with any of it. He finds it quite funny when I start talking about something. He's like, I have no idea what that is. But it is this tool that's everywhere. They're talking about, we're not going to have CVs anymore. Your future employer will just go on and look you up on social media, which includes things like LinkedIn. I know a lot of business people like LinkedIn isn't social media. LinkedIn is also social media.
Yeah.
It's social media, and it's taken such a big part of our lives now, and it's now us that needs to take back the control from it. I have set times throughout the day that I will go in and check my social media. I have a set structure and strategy for all my social media platforms of what I personally will put out there as well, so that I've got that bit of control, particularly as my daughter's getting older. I need to be more aware of what of her is online and of what of me and her and our life is online. You don't want to put her obviously in danger in any way, shape or form, but I don't want to embarrass her either. But I want
Not yet.
Mummy's putting out this strong, passionate message and things like that. So it's a very fine line, and it's in the same, I manage my social media in the same way that I manage my food and my fitness and all the different elements of my life to stay healthy, this whole vision of healthy for me.
Well, that's absolutely brilliant, because that's actually the reason why I've created my Perfect 10 Wellness Programme, which is exactly that, 10 areas, living your life in balance and covering a lot of the things that you've mentioned. So fabulous. We're on the same page there, Jessica. So I asked guests to suggest 2 songs that mean something to them, and you've chosen ABBA, Dancing Queen. Why did you choose that one?
I love that song, but you even bring it up is going to make me well up.
Oh.
I'm a very emotional little bunny. So Dancing Queen always reminds me of me, my mum and my sister getting up on the dance floor. My mum's not with us anymore, hence the tears. Just you saying it sets me off. So for me, it's one of those songs that is, whether it's family or friends, it's that Christmas party, that wedding, that really fun environment, dancing crazy. I mean, we dance around the sitting room to it and things like that, but the very much the image it brings for me is sort of wedding or birthday with my mum and my sister, and the 3 of us just sort of up on the dance floor and having a really great time and not really caring about anything else apart from that moment. So that's why that song's important to me.
Would your mum have known about the Supermum Society?
No, she passed away in, where are we now, 2015, so she didn't even know I was pregnant.
Oh, bless. Oh.
She
Yeah.
she had told my sister, unbeknownst to me, because I'd had these 2 medical reasons why I wasn't meant to be able to have kids, and she knew how much I wanted to be a mum. And I had started looking at fertility side of things with my ex-husband, and that wasn't the whole reason, but part of the reason the marriage didn't continue. Marriage ended, and so she saw me married, she saw me divorced, and she'd met my now partner, who is absolutely incredible and very much the person that I'm meant to parent with. I feel like we work as a team, as a unit, as a parenting team, and as a family team of 3. We work very well. It was definitely the one I was meant to be with in this situation. And so she'd met him, but she passed away in the October, and I got pregnant in the August afterwards. And my mum had said to my sister, I don't think, look after Jess, I don't think she's going to get her baby. So she didn't think it was going to happen for me, and it did, and I'm so glad, because it's very much completed me. A lot of people say they feel like they lose themselves when they become mums, and I I was very much completed when my daughter arrived. So much so that I'm not even sure we'll have a second one. I'm quite happy with one and think that we feel very complete as one, but who knows, further down the line we might want to have another one. But my mum was always quite entrepreneurial and never necessarily found where she wanted to go with that. So when I'm having that sort of tough day with, oh, this is a lot of work and it's not building how I wanted it to, or something's gone wrong, I sort of bring myself back to that, and the fact that she never found what it was she wanted to do with that entrepreneurial spirit of hers, and I've just got to keep going for it. But I do very much have this vision of her sort of tapping on God's shoulder and going, look, you've taken me, so can you send her baby already?
Bless, that's very sweet. The other song you've chose is Tim McGraw singing Humble and Kind. I've not heard of that song. Why did you choose that one?
So I use Spotify. I love Spotify, and I'm building up a playlist on there that for my daughter, for when she's older, of songs that have really meant something to me, that meant something to me in relation to her, and things that feel a lot of connection to her. And that's one of the songs that's just got so many like parenting things that I want to pass on to her in there. And it talks about once you've reached your goal, help those behind you to come up, stay humble when and know that I'm always, I feel like it's a male voice, it's the dad singing to the child to say, yeah, things sometimes are hard, but stay humble, help those that are moving up through with you. And there's just lots of really lovely words in it, really lovely messages to your child kind of within the song. So the moment I heard it, I suddenly was drawn into all the words and all the lyrics, and it's very much the parent I want to be.
Marvellous. Well, thank you very much for spending time with us this afternoon, Jessica from supermumsociety.com. Is that the right web address?
Yeah, and social media, we're at Supermum Society, wherever we are online. YouTube, we've just launched a podcast. There's stuff going on everywhere, so depending on how you like to digest all your bits online, but everything's linked back to the website, so you'll find a host of exciting things on there.
Wonderful. Well done. I'm sure your mum will be very proud of you. Here are your songs.
Thank you.